Hello everyone, and welcome to my BNB24 official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The vibrant and gorgeous Katie taunts Brooke while Liam wins Logan's trademark. By Heather Hughes on Remarks. Comment on television spoilers soap opera, The Bold and the Beautiful. 12 The vibrant and gorgeous Logan trademark is won by Liam. Brooke is taunted by Katie. Before Katie Logan Spencer made fun of Brooke Logan Forrester for losing Bill Spencer's heart, Liam Spencer won the trademark race, according to The Bold and the Beautiful recap. Dylan acknowledged at the beach house that her parents were unaware of her homelessness, and that she didn't want to cause them any trouble. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester detested the idea of her sleeping in her car, especially in hazardous places, even though Dylan thought this was her problem to address. Since Electra was residing at the Forrester estate, Dylan was reluctant to allow her to stay longer at the guest house despite pressure from Will and Electra. Will pretended that everything would be alright since Electra insisted on staying for a few days as well. Carter Walton attempted to renew Logan Design's trademark at Forrester Creations on the BNB episode, but it was abruptly unavailable. Brooke ran out to confront her sister after assuming Katie was to blame. At Spencer headquarters, Liam delivered positive news to Katie and Bill while Rich Forrester remained behind and vented to Carter about the issue. They were able to obtain the Logan trademark because of Liam's quick typing and clicking. Katie was thankful to Liam, who finally became successful, and thrilled to be able to use her own name for her fashion house. Before Katie had a private confrontation with Brooke, who became enraged over Katie stealing the Logan trademark, Bill praised her once more. When Brooke received this as compensation for introducing Katie to the fashion world, she felt deceived and furious. Katie maintained that Logan was just Ridge's pet name, despite Brooke's insistence that she was known by that name. Brooke once proposed that Katie use Katie Logan Designs, but Katie insisted on using just Logan. After accusing Katie of constantly being jealous of her, Brooke eventually pretended that Katie's fashion house was doomed to fail. When Katie brought up her own tenure as CEO of Forrester, Brooke pointed out that it was only due to Bill's hostile takeover. Katie began to wonder if Bill was responsible for all of this. Katie wondered if Brooke was upset about losing out to her sister because of a man. Although Brooke used to control Bill, Katie made it apparent that he now desired Katie as she teased Brooke. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Katie and Brooke's animosity will only worsen from here, so we'll keep you informed on all the crazy fighting. Make CDL your go-to source for Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news, and updates. Katie believes in her feelings. Brooke confronts the hard truth: this brand must be developed from the ground up by Katie. It's similar to building a house, but with a clear nod to the emerging fashion company that Bill Spencer envisioned and is supporting. But Katie also understands that she is a competitor. Rich Forrester is free to disparage Bill's alleged lack of style. The head of Spencer Publications has the funds to make Katie's new business endeavor likely to succeed, regardless of how many buttons he chooses to fasten on his shirt selections. It's not easy to start a new business. Ask Eric Forrester. Stephanie Forrester and the now chairman emeritus of Forrester Creations came up with a concept. They were passionate about fashion and wanted to use their shared vision to create more than just jobs for others. They so co-founded a business. This iconic soap opera's opening scenes aptly depict the heyday of that industry. As viewers discovered, FC had been around for several years. Since devoted viewers have followed this show's main plot. Compared to the 1980s, the conditions that a new company head must deal with now are very different. However, some important facts don't change. Katie will need to make an initial splash to draw attention to this new brand in the fashion industry. Bill's funds will make that possible. However, she must have a strategy in place that calls for a skilled workforce. Management, marketers, and particularly designers who provide something special in the marketplace will be among these individuals. Spencer's fashion endeavor must differentiate itself. However, because this fight will be very personal, Katie will also need to get ready for dirty work, which involves repelling attacks from competitors, particularly the Forrester family business. Another person who loves Katie is Lang's character. Therefore, Brooke doesn't enjoy having to take sides. However, spectators are aware that Ridge expects his wife to fully support FC, and she ought to. At the same time, Ridge and Brooke make Katie feel rejected. This made it quite simple for her to decide to accept Bill's very sincere wedding present and lead a competing fashion firm, setting up what should be a fierce and intricate Forrester-Spencer conflict. Can Brooke and Ridge's love endure after they face 3 significant challenges in the new year? How many times has Bridge split up and then reconciled? We became distracted. It suggests that these two should go through a wash, rinse, repeat cycle. Why would this time around be any different from Ridge and Brooke's frequent miscalculations that result in a breakup? Indeed, a few indicators already point to Splitsville. Although she omitted the fact that it was at Taylor Hayes' expense, Brooke waxed poetic about her reunion with Ridge. We believe Brooke will pay a price for snatching Ridge from Taylor, as she took on some negative karma. By bragging about her happiness, Brooke seemed to be tempting fate, and we are all aware of how quickly Ridge can become grumpy. This is where you first heard it. Regarding her sister Katie Spencer starting her own design brand that rivals FC, Brooke isn't acting as hot as she once did. Although Brooke expressed her happiness for Katie, her actions spoke louder than words. As always, Brooke's bread is buttered at Forrester Creations. After their disastrous visit to Katie's new home, we anticipate that Brooke would side with Ridge, who is not happy with her move. We are eager for the FC core to defect to Logan because Brooke has thrown down. Our bingo card is for Katie and Bill Spencer versus Bridge. However, Brooke will feel drawn to Ridge in terms of loyalty, and we have no doubt that Ridge's wandering eye comes back to life around the same time. Explosive spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Brooke and Ridge might experience some waves in the new year. Do you want them to sink or are you on board? Does Katie gain from the fallout if Eric betrayed Ridge's trust? According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Eric Forrester faltered. After his kid rejected his desire to go back to full-time design, he gave in. But Logan's ascent suggests that Eric's sketchpad and pencil set haven't been lost. It must be assumed by viewers that Eric's seemingly fleeting thought was not intended to be swiftly resolved in a few episodes. During the yearly Christmas Eve carol ritual, his fingers were observed tickling the ivory keys on his grand piano. First, Eric wanted to skip that party. However, Donna Logan changed the heart of her real love. He went to Forrester Creations to get the Santa and Mrs. Claus outfits he made, which seemed to be his final fashion act, rather than to long for the past. John McCook's character Eric Forrester has frequently stated that he doesn't want Eric to be more than an occasional figurehead at their family firm because of his father's health. To be fair, Eric has experienced a number of health problems over the years, the most recent of which was related to the amount of effort he put in. In the executive suite at FC, there is a secret door behind the co-chief executive's desks that leads to the runway. One could argue that Ridge doesn't want to watch Eric keel down close to the runway. It makes sense to think that a plus man should have an easy time on the back nine. However, it is equally possible to argue that Ridge would benefit more from Eric's absence from work. Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan are in charge without his father. According to Katie Logan Spencer's stubborn sister, Brooke Logan Forrester is a brand name, at least the Logan part of her name is. It was just words when it came to mouthing the term support. Beyond simply stating that she is, how precisely is Brooke encouraging Katie's venture into the fashion industry? Brooke felt she had the moral and legal right to prevent the head of the newest branch of Spencer Publications from doing business. A soapy firestorm that promises to cause tension between several families long into the new year begins when Katie is informed that she cannot call the new company Logan. Eric believed that Brooke and Ridge had betrayed him. He produced legitimate sentiments of betrayal when he was pushed aside by a poorly planned retirement celebration at the business he and his late ex-wife, Stephanie Forrester, built. When Katie was kept on the sidelines following the resolution of the Luna Nozawa problem, and the outside PR agency was hired, she encountered contempt from that pair. Since Katie had been in charge of public and media relations for almost 10 years, there was no justification for FC to maintain a crisis management team. The arrangement is seen by longtime enthusiasts. Having a game-changer on her staff would be extremely beneficial to Katie. Eric's fresh designs have gone unnoticed. Giving them to her covertly would make excellent soap. I hope that's what will happen next. Thomas is waiting to make his next move while hiding behind Vow to Hope. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas Forrester just returned to design for Hope for the Future. In addition to congratulating Hope Logan Spencer on her marriage, Thomas promised to focus solely on the line. Is Thomas using his commitment as a cover until he has time to approach Hope again? Thomas left Hope for the Future and relocated to the company's Paris branch. Thomas had no desire to be around Hope. Thomas was engaged to Paris Buckingham when he returned for a brief visit. Thomas later returned home distraught and yelling about how much he needed his family. Thomas's family could not be divided. When it came to Brooke Logan's relationship with Ridge Forrester, Thomas really went a little too far. At the conclusion of their visit, though, Thomas gave Brooke a hug and wished her and his father well. At last, Thomas gave up opposing the reunion. Thomas appears to be enthusiastic and eager to start working at Forrester Creations. In order to write a strong line for the program, Thomas wants to start working on Hope for the Future as soon as possible. According to the design teams, Hope for the Future must shine right away and bring in some really large orders. Will Thomas be able to pull this off? For years, Thomas had an obsession with Hope. Hope and Thomas eventually dated for a while, but she refused to get married to him. Despite Hope's recent divorce from Liam Spencer, Thomas believed that she should be prepared to settle down with him, but she wanted more time. Has Thomas returned with a fresh fixation on Hope? Since returning for a visit in September, Thomas has been acting strangely and is no longer with Paris. Thomas gave his father the order to marry Taylor Hayes. When Thomas found out that Ridge had actually remarried Brooke, he became enraged. Thomas pretended to be prepared to strike her. Thomas expressed his need for his family to be together. Thomas may be hiding his passion now that he is back at Forrester with Hope. Will Thomas wait till Hope feels at ease collaborating with him once more? Will Thomas attempt to dissolve Hope's union once more? On B&B, Dylan's truth is revealed. But will there be a startling turn? Elektra and Will wish to assist Dylan. They found out she was living in her car. They so proposed that Dylan temporarily move in with them. Although Dylan was taken aback by their generosity, she maintained that she was in between apartments. She told them she was okay by herself. Dylan eventually acknowledged that the location she had planned fell through after Elektra urged him to speak with her. Dylan thus lodged at a motel till her funds ran out. She eventually fell asleep in her automobile, which she now calls home. This is not how Elektra wants her friend to turn out. She must assist her or else she fears the worst. Some viewers of B&B questioned whether Dylan was hiding something sinister. Some worry that she might be lying or concealing something from Elektra and Will. After all, it was strange how she responded to Luna's passing. Dylan did not let Elektra know that her phone number had changed. Rather, she sent her an SMS from an unidentified number. In relation to it, Dylan revealed that she had to get a new phone once more. The narrative might have more to it. Dylan appears to be a pleasant young lady with sound judgment, but Elektra might have trouble making friends. We've seen what transpired with her friendship with Remy after all. It's possible that Elektra's pals will use her generosity. In the end, Dylan might fall in love with Will and attempt to kidnap him from Elektra.